Mark Guidarelli, the Senior Systems Engineer of Stern Pinball at Texas Pinball 2019. Hey, Mark.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Awesome. And we're right now at the Marco booth. We have brought almost 40 Stern pins. Over half of them are the Munsters pins. Tell me about what's going on at the event this week.
It's a great weekend. It's one of the biggest pinball shows that's going on. Marco brings a whole collection of our games, the most recent ones being Munsters. You have the Pro and the Premium model. We also have older models like AC/DC, Iron Maiden, Deadpool, the large number of titles that we have in production. They're bringing here for people to experience and play.
And what does it mean to be the Senior Systems Engineer? That's a very strong title, and
strong and kind of nebulous title. I cover a lot of aspects of the software engineering and technology for Stern Pinball. While I don't work on the individual game software, I work on almost every game. I have touch points across a lot of the technology, whether it's the hardware, the software for the game engineers being frameworks, operating systems, firmware. I also dabble with helping out production, and also in the CNC shop, I also talk to those guys quite a bit as well.
That is a lot of responsibility.
A lot of responsibility, but it's very fun. I like having a lot of touch points and being able to help across the whole organization.
Yeah, absolutely. And so last weekend we were at Museum of Pinball for Arcade Expo, and you did this awesome panel talking about what it takes people-wise to make a pinball machine. And I think one of the things we all get kind of caught up in, the designers and the artists and the programmers, the main three, the directors that are winning Oscar awards sort of things. But there's so many more people that make that it takes to make a pinball machine. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I like to give a talk, and I've done it a couple of times with Mike Vinicor, and the title of the talk is "It Takes a Team to Make a Pinball." Now, exactly. There's the front people. It's like the movie industry. You know the director, you know the producer, sometimes you even know the screenwriter. Here you know the game designer, you know the lead programmer. Often you'll know now the lead artist and lead sound engineer. There's a whole group of people that enable and facilitate all of that. From the hardware engineers that help make the hardware for the games, to the mechanical engineers that make all the devices that work very closely with the designer to take his vision from paper and make it into manufacturable items. Then there's people that decide on the bottom side of the playfield, where will boards be placed? Where will mechanisms be placed? How will the wiring harnesses be made? There's people that have to deal with the certification and qualifying of the hardware to go into manufacturing and be able to be sold in the United States and internationally. There's guys like me behind the scenes that are making a lot of the system level changes or helping the game teams with new technologies for a particular item. So there's a large number of people that we cover. There's support programmers, there's people in the build-up lab, there's testing and qualification. It's a very large team that makes a game manufacturable. Then there's a whole other group that actually does the manufacturing, and I hope to do a talk about that, where it takes a factory to build a pinball.
And how many pinball machines can you guys make a day in the Stern factory?
We don't really quote numbers, but we have the capacity to do above 100 games a day.
How many people does it take to make a pinball machine? Can you put a number on that? 65 people made the Munsters.
It's really hard for me to say an exact number because it's a cascading item, right? We have John Borg, that was the captain of the team. Then we have individual teams off of there. And if you were going to start talking about subcontractors and people that make the parts, it's going to get out of the view I could even say. But it is, internally there's a number, but externally the touch points across it, it's probably going to be in the hundreds that touch it, because every bald guide is going to go to a subcontractor, and there's going to be people within there that are going to design those for manufacturability. Then there's guys that'll maybe be doing tooling and jigs, and the guy's actually doing it. So it is a big tree that fans out quickly.
That's crazy. So does it ever frustrate you when fans are like, hurry up, Stern, when's the next game coming out? Because they don't realize it takes 200 some people to make it.
Not at all, actually, because that shows they're enthusiastic and they want the product. When someone says, I don't care, then I worry. I love the enthusiasm. I love that the market is expanding, the hobby is expanding, Everyone loves it. It's a very, we're used to digital and virtual and other things. This is a very tactile and mechanical thing that's very appealing, and I'm glad to see that it's becoming relevant again, particularly with the barcades and other things. So the second they stop hounding me for the next product, then I'll worry.
That's a great answer. So speaking of which, you were around in the Williams days, right? You worked for Williams for several years. And so you saw the rise and the decline of pinball all the way to where we are today. What do you think? Are we still going up and up and up, and we don't see the top yet? Or is this what happened last time? Is it common?
Boy, the whole coin-op industry is cyclic. It's been that way since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Things go up and down. I was in Bally Midway Williams in the arcade division, and we certainly had a hard fall, and that was a combination of the internet becoming significant, different competition for the entertainment dollar. We are an entertainment product. It's all about competition for the entertainment dollar. That is always a vulnerable position, whether it's a disruptive thing like the internet or movies becoming more significant again, or Pokemon Go or some other new property that gets people interested in moving where they want to spend their time and then their money. So if I had a crystal ball to say we're going up or down, I'd use the crystal ball in the stock market. There's a lot of indicators saying that we're continuing to expand. Look at what's going on around us. How many thousands of people are here? How many dozens of shows across the United States with thousands of people? So we are continuing to expand on the home market, which would reflect that sales should continue to grow, but it's the street location that I keep my eye on the most. The street location trains new and exposes new people to the hobby. And that's where, me personally, I like to spend a lot of my professional energy helping the street operator with his location expand his ability to succeed, to get more pinball out to the general public.
What do you do to help him or her expand their arcade business?
Two things. From my individual point of view, it's educating when I talk to operators on ways of engaging and retaining their clientele, hoping that they have a cooperative location like a bar manager that's willing to work with them to aggregately elevate the coin box of both the pinball machine and the bar location, but also giving them additional tools in the pinball machine to make it easier for the operator to, say, accept different types of payments through swipe cards, give them new tools to be able to do items to make the games earn better, or have tools to do stuff with the bar manager to, again, if you see a common group of people that are often hang out, is there ways of them getting them to do mini ad hoc tournaments, do something else to keep those people at the location, drinking the beer, eating the appetizers, and playing pinball.
So do you think that it's the operators who are saving pinball right now?
It's a lot of people. It's Marco is saving pinball by creating products for the enthusiasts and making people to be able to keep older games running at their best ability. It's the street location that's willing to do the investment in a machine to be able to have it publicly so people can see the product. It's everyone. Everyone is saving pinball by participating in the business. And it's the players. Fundamentally, the players are saving pinball because they contribute money that feeds the whole system, that makes it worth people's while to do the business.
It's just a whole pinball economy, so to speak. It's really awesome. So we're here at Texas Pinball Festival. What are you most excited about this weekend?
You know what I'm most excited about is getting out and meeting people, both the operators, both the home buyers, and getting feedback. That's what guides me. At one show, I heard feedback from someone who had glaucoma that couldn't see very well, and he asked me something to do, and I thought about it, and I went to give him some adjustments to make it so playing some of the games would be less painful for him. So I like to see how the product's being used and received. It's very important to me to have a touch point directly with the customers, both business and consumer.
So which show can we find you at next?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. California Extreme, certainly. It's a matter of my schedule and my obligations in the office.
Well, we hope to see you at another show because more people want to talk to you and give you these awesome ideas.
Well, what I'd say is anyone sees me at a show, please stop and talk to me. I love to hear your experiences, both positive and areas where there's areas of improvement. I'm not shy to hear about things like that. I love the feedback, and I want to do everything I can to help educate and expand the hobby.
So you heard it right here from Mark. If you have Stern feedback, don't mess with the forums and Pinside and stuff. Just find this guy.
Yeah, I prefer one-on-one conversations. I think that's a more meaningful for both sides of us.
Well, thank you so much and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
See, simple, right?